Hello everyone. I'm here today with Adrian, life coach Koi, a Hearthstone player from Germany. You all know him. He's currently playing for G2 Esports. So hello Adrian, how are you doing today?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. So we had a small introduction about you, but could you tell me a bit more about yourself?
Well, I don't know. Beginning from zero would be probably. I guess whoever whoever will watch the interview will probably also know me. So, yeah, let's go.
Okay. Does your battle tag have any special meaning or significance? How did you come
Ah,
up
the
with
life
it?
coach. Oh yeah, sure. Life coaching. I do life coaching at the moment, and life coaching is also what I would probably do full time if I wouldn't play Hearthstone.
That's nice. So you are part of G2 Esports, one of the biggest organizations in the world. How did the opportunity come around and join them?
Well, we basically were already a team before, so it was not that G2 basically found a team, but it was rather that Rado, Ties, and me, we are working with each other for many years now, and yeah, that was the best team. There was an opportunity. G2 wanted to find a very good team, and we were free at that very moment, so we decided to join G2.
Awesome. Before Hearthstone, you were playing poker professionally. Do you ever think of going back there, and why did you stop, if I may ask?
No, I don't. I definitely don't go back to poker because I think it's ethically wrong to play it for money, and yeah, so definitely not doing that again more.
I see. So how did you pick up Hearthstone, and what do you like most about it?
I like the challenge, the mental challenge that that you have always like a small puzzle, but it's not that the puzzle. I mean, some puzzle return, but you have to build analogies, so it's like very complicated puzzle, but not always exactly the same. So it makes you thinking, and yeah, I really like it. Also the mathematical component and the innovative component. So a lot of it, yeah, sure.
Right. So how do you approach each season, and what strategies do you use to climb your way to the top of the rankings, get legend, etc.?
Yeah, I guess this season the strategy to legend was simply a bet I had with Ty, so that was the bungee jumping bet, and yeah, so got legend in 36 hours or something. I don't know, 30, 32 hours. I forgot, but yeah, we basically had the challenge right. So yeah, that was the way to become legend this season at least.
Awesome. What style of decks do you prefer playing, and also do you enjoy the current meta?
Yeah, I don't enjoy the current meta at all, and yeah, I like probably it's the other way around. I like complicated decks and decks where you are required to think. I think if you should have easier to be played decks in Hearthstone, but they should never have even the yeah, like if a very good player is playing the very easy decks, he should never be as good as with the very difficult decks. And at the moment, unfortunately, it's that there are kind of a lot easy to play decks out there, which everybody, I mean everybody, but yeah, which doesn't require a tremendous amount of skill, and that makes a joke out of the game, of course. But yeah, I'm also pretty sure it will change.
So you're leaning more towards a control style of decks, right?
Well, control, yeah, probably you can call it control, but it's not only about control because I mean that's obviously the argument of the people, yeah. I mean, whenever I say, oh, make it a little bit more complicated, they say, yeah, but if priest against priest, then people would also again complain if every game would take 25, 30 turns. But it's not exactly like this, right? I mean, we had the example of the patron mechanic, for example, where the games didn't really last 30 turns. That was not the case. It was simply a very difficult deck to be played, but that didn't mean that the turns went so long. That meant the turn was always over at turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, but it was still difficult to be played. Druid with the Druid combo. These games were they lasted exactly 8 or 9 turns, right? But it was still a little, at least a little bit. Handlock maybe, okay, handlock was complicated, but there were that was for longer games, but not fatigue games, right? It was rather, I mean, because you have this warlock hero ability, handlock games went, I don't know, between 6, 7 turns and 18 turns, 19 turns, something like this. But I don't think that complexity is directly correlated to game length and to control or slow pace. It's not exactly like this. Rather the opposite, right? I mean, control decks, I mean, not exactly the opposite, but control decks are also very often very easy to be played. So, for example, a Cartoon Warrior is not that difficult to be played because a Cartoon Warrior has 3, 4 cards in the hand, or 2 or 3 cards in the hand in the later stages of the game. And well, yeah, sure, I mean, turn 10 mana, you have 3 cards in your hand. 1 costs 8 mana, 2 are costing 5 and 6 mana. Yeah, you play the one which has 8 mana printed on it. So it's not of tremendous difficulty, right? So you can also see, I guess Priest is probably a little bit more tricky, but yeah, you get the point. Control doesn't, or late game doesn't really mean equivalence of complexity.
Of course. So you're in charge of making some changes in Hearthstone. What would you change?
Well, yeah, I've talked a lot about those things, but I guess you would probably need to change a lot. There are more AoE effects, better AoE effects, so board clears, better board clears, giving every class one good board clear, so people have to play around that. Maybe getting more longevity options, which is, for example, gain life, but obviously not over-exaggerating that. Definitely changing stats towards more passive stats, but more health stats. So instead of making all the minions 5/4 or like the Trog which grows in the front, you would rather want to benefit or to support health stats, not attack stats. The same, especially probably the most important thing is the snowball effect. So cards which are becoming good if you are in charge of the game, if you have the board control. So at the moment we have a lot of cards which are extremely good, insanely good if you have the board control, but we have nearly no cards which are insanely strong if you don't have the board control. It cannot be, yeah. But okay, so those things, yeah.
I see. So you have won quite a lot of tournaments and you are of course considered as one of the favorites each time. So how do you prepare for this tournament, and also are you anxious about playing in front of a big crowd?
No, I'm not anxious about it, but I'm always I always have the feeling that I want to, of course, perform very well, and yeah, that of course puts a lot of pressure. Maybe I should work on that a little bit, but I really have the feeling that I mean, whenever I play a tournament I don't perform or I misplay, I'm really feeling bad about it. And well, maybe you could argue that that's also the reason why I'm in the position I am now in my life. But I really have to say, if you always build up as much pressure, it might become a little bit tough, because if you, let's say, play very well and win a tournament, or you have very good results, well, then that's the normal state, right? Because that's what you expect from yourself. But so what I'm saying is, usually it's like success or okay, you have to work on yourself with a positive mindset. With the mindset I have at the moment, it's rather like, okay, either you perform normal or you fail. So sure, but yeah, I guess those are the two approaches. The one with the yeah, I have at the moment probably more radical towards well-being. But yeah, I guess the best is somewhere in the middle, somewhere in between, not in the middle, but somewhere in between those extremes.
So you broke the Ropecoach meme a few days ago.
Aha,
How
I
did
broke
that
that.
feel?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. Of course, the challenge was tough, and yeah, very happy I succeeded. And Tash will come bungee jumping in 3 days.
All
Which is
right.
awesome.
Great. So what are your goals for Hearthstone this year and maybe the first months of the upcoming year?
Yeah. Um, that's interesting. The thing is, Hearthstone, that's an interesting question because the thing is, the goals, if you speak about goals, well, goals should usually be smart goals. And smart, I mean, standard, right? I mean, they should be specific, measurable, achievable, and so on, and timeable. And at the moment in Hearthstone, I mean, well, what exactly are achievable goals, right? So you could have a goal number one, rank one in ladder. I mean, I already achieved that, so I don't know how important that really is for me. And at the moment, I consider the ladder a little bit funky or. I don't want to be too negative about Hearthstone. I mean, but I also don't want to conceal that Hearthstone is in insanely bad shape at the very moment. So. But yeah, so what I'm saying is the state which Hearthstone has at the moment, I wouldn't say ladder is a joke, but it goes into this direction. The same also goes for tournaments. They are being taken less seriously. You also see it if you take a look at how people perceive it. So how people perceive tournaments. So a tournament winner 1 year ago was kind of a hero. Nowadays, if somebody wins a tournament, it's like, yeah. Sure. What I'm saying is it really has a huge effect. It's all this random stuff and all this more simple thing. And also, of course, the pro scene. I mean, if the pro scene was talking about Hearthstone 1 year ago, it was a completely different story than if the pro scene is talking about Hearthstone nowadays, right? And this perception is also carrying to outside. So I really, really hope that Blizzard will think about nerfing complex cards in the future. I mean, seriously, I don't know. I mean, they were already there. I'm not saying that Patron wasn't too strong, but it was already there. Patron mechanics were awesome. Blade Fury mechanics. If you think it's too strong, make it only on minions. That's fine, but don't make it unplayable. It was an awesome card and just nerfed. Same went for Molten Giants. It's not understandable. It's like a punch in your face if they nerf cards like this. Really, really, it's like a punch in your face. And over and over again. If you think about the decks I used to play or I like to play, basically exactly those decks which require thinking, right? Patron, Handlock, it was no coincidence. And yeah, of course, those decks which require a lot of skill were also being played by other players, by other very competitive players. And for obvious reasons, those decks also performed at some point well, because, well, if the very best players are playing these complex decks, yes, they will become strong, sure. And yes, they will also maybe dominate the pro scene, pro meta. But that's not a reason to nerf them. It's like saying, I mean, I don't even know what the message is, right? I mean, if you, I think it's just silly. I just think it's silly, and the same also goes. I mean, whatever. Yeah. So, how did we come to this topic?
For your goals for Hearthstone this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The goals. Yeah. So what kind of goals? I mean, this is really you really hit the point there because that's also the reason why I'm doing other stuff at the moment. Maybe playing other games. Just because the game is just not as appealing. And the thing about the game not being appealing is exactly the lack of goals, right? When you could see many goals 1 year ago, you could say, oh, I go for that, I go for tournaments, so I practice that a lot because this is my next goal. Or I want to go for especially high ladder ranks or this or that, or maybe I want to be successful or being taken seriously as a Hearthstone player and all these things. You can work for them and you can pursue those goals. But at the moment, how Hearthstone is at the very moment, what should be the goal? I don't see it. I mean, it's you don't even if you would say, okay, now I want to win some dream hacks, because Hearthstone is so low skill capped at the moment. It's not even that achievable. So why should you make this goal? Even if you would, so let's say, become the best player in the world, you could still not guarantee to reach these goals. People might say, okay, but it's just a matter of time. Just And I'm not even talking about my goals here, but if you would say, okay, we have, let's say, whatever, a few dream hacks in the year, and I'm a pro player, and now I've worked so hard that I become the world's best player. What are your chances that you win a major with 160, 170 player in each major? The skill cap being incredibly low, nearly really not very existent. If you have, let's say, 4 or 5 big major tournaments where you can really fly to and really play them, with equal playing strengths, it makes, well, 5 shots on 170 people makes it 3-4% with average playing strengths. If you are the world's best, well, 1 year ago you could definitely say you would have a 30-40% chance to win a major this year. So that means if you really become an insanely good player, you have to try out 2 or 3 years, and then you will definitely get the recognition. At the moment, I mean, who should go for that, right? I mean, even if you're an insanely good player, I know many people who are, they win for the major win, yeah. But how things are at the moment, they might also win another 5 or 10 years for their major win. Yeah, good luck. So it's really not, yeah. So not. I have some goals in my mind, some small goals to keep me motivated. One goal is, for example, a face challenge. So yeah, you will probably see it. I wanted to do it today, but maybe you will see it tomorrow. I guess by the time the interview comes out, you will already heard of it.
Great.
How it goes? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I can show you. Just a second.
Sure.
So this is something I will probably do tomorrow. But yeah, as I said, you have probably already seen it. So I built this here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't exactly know what that is, I guess, right?
Yes, of course.
No. Yeah, you probably won't know. So wait, I'll show you how it works. So this is like a face paper. It's a face paper. I can probably screen share. You can just put it in the video.
To put it on the monitor?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, this is a portrait of the hero, right? Do you have any advice or thoughts you'd like to share with your fans or other aspiring competitive players that want to be like you?
Work hard on your game, always be ambitious, and whenever you have some goal, pursue it with all your heart and with all your passion.
That's a really nice advice. So for the fun part, you are a castaway in a remote, isolated island. You have to choose one Hearthstone personality to help you survive. Who would it be?
One Hearthstone personality, one person.
Yeah.
With which I would like to have on the island.
Yes, to help you survive.
To help me survive. Aha, okay, interesting. Aha. To help me survive, one Hearthstone player.
It can be a caster, a player, whatever. Even Ben Broad.
Froden! I would pick Froden because he keeps me laughing. He will, with Froden, the life will never be trist on the island. That's really good because there will be a lot of boredom, right? There will be a lot of leisure time, right? So yeah.
Awesome.
And I can play Hearthstone on the island, and Froden will be able to always commentate on it. So yeah, 100%.
All right. So I think we can wrap it up. Do you have any final shout-outs?
No, that's fine. Everything good. Watch the video tomorrow.
Of course, I will. Thank you very much for having this interview with me. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. You can all follow Lifecoach on Twitter at G2 Lifecoach. I have it written right here, so drop him a follow, please. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.
Awesome, thank you. Bye.
Bye.